I think that went pretty long.
Were we on the clock? I didn't know.
You got 10 minutes.
I'm Jensen Muller with Explain It to a Teenager, and I'm with...
Mark Myers.
So Mark, how would you explain your job to a teenager?
All right. My job is Chief Commercial Officer at iSpot. And what a Chief Commercial Officer does is determine a lot of our go-to-market strategy. And what that means is how much our products should be priced for, the price of the products, how we should package our products, so things like how we combine one product with another and create a package. Say you buy two products, maybe you get a discount or you get more value by buying two of our products, and various other sort of strategic aspects of how we bring our products to our customers so that they get value from what they buy from us.
So can you give me a few maybe more specific examples to kind of show everyone what an example of like in a good and effective way to strategize that pricing and all that in a very basic sense looks like, and a very maybe not so good way to strategize looks like?
Yeah, you bet. So if you roll back the tape a couple of years, we had two products that measured different types of video advertising. One was a product that was focused on linear TV advertising, so linear commercials, the commercials you see on NBC or VH1, and that was a great product in and of itself. But then entered on the scene streaming, right? So Netflix and Hulu and Roku and all the streaming platforms that teenagers and everybody else consumes. And advertising started to appear in those formats as well. So we built a product that measured streaming advertising. But what our customers really wanted is they wanted a product that combined both the linear advertising and streaming advertising together to help them understand if one ad campaign is reaching the same house on NBC and also reaching a house on streaming on Hulu, that would be two ad placements, right, that household would see. And they wanted to understand the incrementality or where they're seeing unique...
Why would they want to understand that?
Well, because you probably had an experience on one streaming platform where you see the same ad over and over and over and over and over and over again, and that doesn't make us feel very good. You say, why do I need to see the same Verizon ad 15 times in a row? That seems like not a very good use of ad inventory, and it's also not a good use of ad budget. So what Verizon might do is to use this product that we call unified measurement. We've unified linear and streaming together to understand how one household, how many exposures of that Verizon ad that they got, and to cap it at a certain frequency. That frequency might be like, hey, we want the maximum number of exposures to be 7. No more than 7. Mark's household doesn't need to see it more than 7 times. Jensen's household doesn't need to see it more than 7 times. And if we get over 7, technology caps it and kind of makes it not run into that household anymore. So that might be an example of, as a consumer too, like you get a benefit of not seeing that same ad 15 times, you only saw it 7 times.
So your product basically collects data on those advertisements that allows advertisers to see that, in this example, or this instance, that the ad's being replayed too many times over. So it's about efficiency and targeting the ads. Is that what you help with?
And we use smart TVs for that. So like Vizio is a big partner. We measure all the ads appearing on a Vizio and linear TV and streaming, and we put that together with some other digital data and do exactly that. Help marketers understand how their ads are reaching consumers. The ad publisher, like Hulu and NBC, want to understand their delivery of advertising, again, so they don't over-deliver ads. And as a consumer, we benefit because we're not seeing the same ad 15 times.
So it's to my understanding that you sell data about those ads, correct?
Yes.
So can you give me an example of kind of what that data is to audience?
Yeah. It starts with the creative unit. And we're here in Cannes, and it's all about creative. The creative is the actual ad itself, the commercial. The TV commercial you see on TV or streaming is the creative. And so it starts with there and measuring the right ad for the right audiences. And then it goes into the audience delivery. So how that ad is getting to households. Is it on linear TV, on NBC or VH1, or is it on streaming, Hulu or Peacock? And then we ultimately connect those ad impressions to outcomes like sales. So if Kellogg's was advertising their cereal, they want to know how many boxes of cereal they sold for their ad campaign, and we help them connect those dots.
So your data kind of looks at like the effects of the ads, right? How many sales they're making, right?
Yeah.
Is an example of the type of data
Yeah.
you provide.
Yeah, some companies look for sales, some look for leads, like you don't often sell a car based on a TV commercial, but you may visit the car maker's website and go configure a vehicle. So maybe you see a Jeep ad, say, hey, that Jeep looks really cool. You go to jeep.com, you configure a Wrangler, something like that, and then you sort of shop for the vehicle at that point.
But how do you know? Like, how does iSpot know that that person saw the ad and then is now looking at the website?
So the smart TV, so like a Vizio TV, is on the home Wi-Fi, right? Because that's how it gets its streaming information. And if you go to jeep.com from, let's say, your phone, you're also on your home Wi-Fi. So we connect those two data points together. We're able to see on the back end with the IP address that this Jeep ad was served in the house. A mobile device in that house went to jeep.com, and we connect those two things together. And that's actually a real life use case of how Jeep uses our data today, not only to understand their creative impact, but the audience delivery, and then ultimately if their ad exposure drove people to jeep.com to configure a Wrangler.
Okay, so now I understand that people are using this data from iSpot and they're using it to see if their ads are effective. But to do that, you have access to some of these home Wi-Fi networks, right? You think that's like invasive anyway? Like, how do we know that's private and secure?
Yeah, it's every device that we measure operates in an opt-in fashion. So consumers have to opt in on their Vizio device, or quite honestly, everything that we did when we bought an iPhone, right? You're opting into sort of being tracked, not at a personally identifiable level, but in aggregate that you were a visitor on this home Wi-Fi address to jeep.com. So it's all aggregate information, and it's not personally identifiable, but it allows for the marketing analytics to help us derive data to sell to Jeep that helps them understand how their ad campaign is performing.
So it's to my understanding that, like, let's say you have those two data points on someone's Wi-Fi, right? They watched a Jeep commercial and then they went to the Jeep website, right? You can see that, person XYZ number, whatever, did that, but it's not tied to a name or anything personal in that sense. So that way it's secure?
That's exactly right.
Okay, and then back to your specific position within the company.
Yeah.
What does like a day-to-day basis look like for you, right? What do you I guess in a sense, what do you do all day, right, to do this?
So sometimes we'll have these waves of needing to price a new product, right? So we have to dive in and have a lot of meetings around the market value of that product, how much the hard costs are for the product. So if there are costs for us to use servers, like Amazon Web Services, we use a lot of AWS, that costs us money, right? iSpot has to pay for using Amazon Web Services, and we have to build that into the cost of our products. So we come up with a pricing model that we can then take to the market and sell to customers. So, but that work we might finish that wave and say, okay, great, we have a new product, we're launching it, and we're launching it for this price. And then we train our sales team to take that product to market and to go sell it to new customers, sell it to existing customers, and grow our revenue as a result. So like that might be one example. Another example would be meeting with actual customers. We have a small group of active customers, brand customers, that are what we call our customer advisory.
What do you mean
group.
by brand customers? Sorry.
So a brand is Jeep. Jeep is a brand.
So a company, not an individual person.
Correct.
Okay.
It's a marketer. It's an individual person representing that company that works for that company. But we'll say, hey, Jeep is on our customer advisory board, and T-Mobile's on our customer advisory board. And what we do is we get the customer advisory board together every 3 months, and we ask them questions about what challenges they face in the market, how the iSpot products are helping them address those challenges, and what more they might like to see from iSpot to help us build new products that we will then go price, right, in our pricing committees. We will package, and then we will go to market to try to sell those new products to our customers and to get new customers in the door.
Okay, so that's awesome. So it sounds like there's a lot of collaboration with the customers there to improve your product, and then you're also putting data together, right, in ways that people can use into what you call products, right, and combining them, pricing them in different strategic ways. Well, I think that was a very insightful interview. I learned a lot, and I hope you guys did too, and I think we can finish there.
Sounds good. Thanks, Jensen.
Awesome. Thank you so much.